What's up, Shorty?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Shorty.
Hello.
I'm dealing with Jim Cramer here.
Hey, Shorty.
Hey,
That was awesome how you got on the blocky today.
I thought you were blocked. How are you going to deal with him?
I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm gonna get my stock picks. I really don't know. Will be really difficult. All right, well, let's see what we can get into. Dumpster made it, dude. What in the world?
Ah.
Look, Dumpster, I found a picture of you and I saved it.
I wouldn't be wearing shoes though.
Probably don't even have a pair of shoes. Why didn't you just, right? All right, so let's see what they did here. So you guys saw this picture I posted for you guys this morning. So they did have the free space here, but this was the, you guys remember the 4047 level? Here's your daily. I mean, obviously you tried to go above it. It really struggled. Does anyone have an idea like why I would have a struggle such as that one on this? Why would they stop that at 4047? Why do you guys think it's a stop there?
They didn't want to buy it higher.
Okay, anyone else?
That was the range stop from the accumulation.
Okay. What about like profile? I mean, if you guys see this, it looks like a skinny belly. And now what do you guys see happening here? I mean, it was a skinny belly, a better one than it is
There's
now.
a high volume node there. Big
So
one.
this was our break-even zone. This is where the liquidity was resting, right? They knew that, you know, there was no liquidity here. So they had a lot of volume here. They accumulated in these volume nodes here. And remember, markets are efficient when there's a lot of volume, right? Because that means they're trading happily. So here they tried to be inefficient and they brought them back where? to efficiency, right? So that was a quick check to see if they can cause that, you know, kind of like a run. And when they try to do the runs without real reason, this is what happens. Well, I don't know what the hell, I wasn't trading anything.
Yeah, I mean, right at that same point too, the Qs really hit the wall. They hit the value high, and then where it had been kind of sitting for multiple hours as well. So you hit that as well.
Yep. I don't know what the hell's going on here, man.
Closed.
Like I'm not doing anything, man. Do you guys see this?
Yeah, that's right.
1 hour cloud was closed. Also.
Yep. So at 1 hour, I wouldn't pay much attention when you're talking about these daily levels, right? On daily candles, right? You need to look at more of a daily and weekly clouds. But here, simply just based on this, they were not auctioning. To really see the details, we got to look at the daily SVP, right? So now, if you look at it on this pretty white background, let's kind of zoom out. And what are you guys seeing here? Start from the bottom. And you see them making, right, from the B shape, they have a massive run into a P shape, which is not a normal behavior. If you guys recall, I explained to you guys that this was not normal. They corrected this. Basically, they fixed the poor structures of this one. And if you guys look, they came back all the way to this one, and then they bounced it, right? So now, if they if they come back and let's say they lose this value area low here, 39.60, we know that there's quite a few levels in between here, right? Between where we bounced, right on the money, 3966. Does it ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Oh yeah, big time. That was POC, March POC.
No, it's bigger than that.
2022.
2022.
Yeah, it's your 2022 POC. So this level has been a really, really sticky point in 2023. If you look, I mean, a lot of price action's been around this level. It's almost like a pivot that not many people are aware of why it's there, right? So it's a big level. So if they lose that, where's the 2022 value area low?
Hold on. I got it somewhere. Oh, I have
36, 32, 75.
That's exactly what I got.
There you go. So if we lose this, if you guys look at this POC, we really haven't tested besides this run up here. We came very close. There was a lot of confluence levels here. I would consider this that we completed the test of the extremes. So if you guys look here, I would call this, that's pretty good. 11 points, close enough. They completed it. They just could not even eagerly wait to sell it back down from here. So now, what's the ideal play here?
Wait for the retest of the 2022 PLC down to
We're-
the bagger. Oh, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. There's
No,
way-
I think you're right. Lose it
No.
and retest.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on.
yeah, I was
you-
thinking that.
Yeah, you want to lose that POC, which is wherever this line is. I don't know. I'm mixing them up now. Maybe delete this guy. Okay, whatever this should be, 66, whatever, 5. Somewhere around here. I know being dumpster is going to correct me anyways. Okay, so now if they lose this level, what levels would you target?
The VRVP shows some free spaces. So based on that, we can target like wherever the volume shelves are after that to start trimming the positions.
Yeah, but what about just using what you see on the screen right here? Just use what you see here. on the
Oh,
screen.
okay. Just below 3850, that accumulation there's a level 3850 or 38, whichever that accumulation POC
If you're
is.
shorting the retest of 2022 POC, what's your first target?
That low that's
Um,
moving in the middle.
Mine would be the March POC. That's my first target.
Well, March POCs, I think where did
It's
it shift?
39.52.
39.52. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. They could get a bounce there, yes, but
And then the
most likely this will be your zone where you're gonna catch a bounce.
what is that, Shorty? What number is that?
This is gonna be 3909. I thought it was 08 today.
Yeah.
It's gonna be right here, 3909.
Yeah.
So you have about, I would say give and take about 50 points. Probably a run down here if we lose this POC. Because they've been at this POC before, right? So here it was support. They sliced it, they accumulated right below it here. They made a higher high. And now if you're not able to make higher highs like we weren't here, we didn't take that out. What does it tell you about, this demand here? What does it tell you about this demand completely? This demand took out this supply here, if you want to call it liquidity. I don't know if they took it out because we kind of rejected there and made a weak high. So there's a high chance that you're going to test what demand is left.
Mm-hmm.
What demand's left that hasn't been tested.
Oh, the rest of the value area below.
I didn't mean to do that.
The next value area.
From where the run up started, the recent run up.
So you're looking somewhere around here that you're probably going to get a bounce.
Around
I would say 36.85 is going to be an area to watch. I would think they're going to be targeting this, and somebody said VRVP.
What about 38.56 of Shorty? You see
That's going to
anything
be
there?
that's going to be, that's a big level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a target, there's a level there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, December POC.
Correct. So
Yep.
you have some, and I think that's a VPOC if maybe I don't remember correctly.
No, but it's definitely a big level.
Did we tap that one?
Yeah,
I
we
think
tapped
so.
December.
Yeah, we tapped it.
Okay, we did here. Yeah. Okay, so this is your March. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, this is pretty much the only shelf below here. I would say, if you have 39.52, if you're not comfortable shorting this, that's okay. That can save this bounce here from 39.66 to 2022 POC to here. There's some points there, but imagine, there's a lot of volume here, so it might not be as quick as you want. But once you lose this shelf, the volume really, really dies down here.
52 is previous week POC also, and below that it's like open space. So that would be ideal
Yeah.
shot.
I would target this area right here for tomorrow. If we see continuation down, this is my target. And to confirm, what's the chances of continuation down? What do you guys think here based on these profiles that you're seeing?
I'd say if we can get past the 39.65.25, then yeah, there's a very high chance of getting down there.
Did anyone at all pay attention to this shelf here?
I didn't. I was
Anyone
looking
else?
at the POC, but not the shelf.
Yeah,
I have that as Sigma 2.
Yeah, but why is this shelf any importance here?
I have that as my Sigma 2.
Potentially, yeah, but I'm just talking about profile shape. So think about it. How much time did we spend?
Oh, yeah.
How much time in this circle or square, sorry, that I drew did we spend at this area?
90% versus 10%, and the volume is a lot there.
No. Hear what I'm asking you. How much time did price spend in this area here in this
Not
time
much at
span?
all.
Negligible.
Like 1
Okay.
day or 2 days, I think.
An hour.
An hour.
Exactly. Spent probably here from 3:30 right here to 4, 1 hour. How come that 1 hour shelf? I'm just gonna delete everything. How come that 1 hour shelf it's created almost a POC if it had like another 30 minutes there? How come that worked so well? In 30 minutes, you had so much volume. That this created a massive shelf. I mean, think about this. It almost, if they added more volume here, it probably would have shifted differently, right? This POC.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. That was the max pain 4K, wasn't it? There was shit volume all day long, and then that.
Well,
just
I
went
don't
at the end of
know.
the day. That was
But
yesterday, right? Yeah. that
all
was
I
yesterday.
know about is that if I was to look at TPO, that means 2 columns on the TPO would show up here. You went above it and you got rejected there. You did not close confidently above this. And that shelf was created there late in the day. So to me, it's like, okay, well, did you intentionally do that? Or was there really excess of supply that they wanted to sell off from here? Right? So I don't know why you would have so much volume and then you see the absorption happening on the wicks on 30 minutes. Probably looks different on 15 minutes. You have a full body candle and then no follow through at all till, I guess, what is this, 10:15? And then they filled right below that shelf again. And you see the volume here. The volume is picking up on 15 minutes here on selling. Then they drop it again, drop. And then here comes the buyers. I think this is when they announced, right? Yeah, right here. They announced whatever FMOC was released. And then you see them going right to whatever they went to. I just wonder how quickly did they sell volume here? Because that had to be pretty quick and effective, right? They had people buying, and there was a lot of sellers, right? So a lot of hands got exchanged there. I'm looking at cumulative. You see the VRVP now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
POC
and where's the
shifted
POC now?
right at that point.
So even here, if I grab a couple of points now, that shelf is still massive. Look at the POC in this shelf now. That's telling you this was a pretty heavy area for suppliers. They showed they are in access, right? There was a lot of them. Obviously, this VRVP considers a lot more points now. I don't
Are
really
you
care for it.
on 5 minutes or 30 minutes, Shorty?
Are you guys not able to see my screen, guys?
No, I
can.
can't. I just got a small.
Yeah, I'm on 30 minutes now.
Okay.
I was on 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Yep. And now when you look at it, right? So you had a B, I would say you had a P shape here. You opened. Did anyone pay attention to the opening today? No. Was it a bullish open or what kind of open was it?
Jeez.
It was definitely a bullish open because we were above the value area of previous day.
That's correct. Yeah, you're above the value area, but below the range. So it's one of those. Remember what I said about this in the PowerPoint? Is this my favorite to trade?
Nah, it's like you're unclear where do you want to go.
Yeah.
Dip below the value area or go above the range.
That's correct. So this is not my favorite day to trade. Whenever you have this, I really want to, if you're going to gap up and open higher, right? If you're going to go open above the value area, why couldn't you go above the range and open there? That would give me a little bit more confidence that, you know, you're going to continue the run up.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You have the value area high here, right? You have the PD value area high, but you got to note something about the value areas, right? When you're looking at the value areas compared to the previous ones. So look at them, you know, from here, 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 here. Do you guys see any difference between these value areas and like these?
Tight.
These are a lot tighter.
Yeah.
What does it mean when you have tighter value area?
Not much cross action.
Means there's about to be a big move after.
Okay, what else? What does it mean in terms of buyers and sellers?
There's more agreement.
They're happy buying and selling there.
Indecision.
Indecision, I would say, because there are less.
There's
There are less.
Sorry.
The range is
Okay.
less.
Well, I
If the
guess it don't
range-
matter. They just accept the area, is what it is. Right?
Well, there's a meaning behind it. If you're accepting in a super tight area, there's not as many buyers and sellers in that area because you don't have the range there. And usually, remember the base and the lamp? The tighter the area, most likely you're going to spill. You're going to tip over one way. When the area and the value area is tight, that means you don't have a lot of buyers and sellers. It's going to be, it's going to tip over one way or another.
So that's basically retail.
No, that doesn't mean retail, right? It just might mean that institutional is not fully gambling on that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe usually when you get, you know, hedge funds and institutionals, remember who can break the balances, meaning the value areas. It's the big boys that break them. You're just participating in it as a short-term trader and a retail.
Okay. Yeah.
So whenever you see something like this and you're seeing these squeezes here, there, you know, and you're popping over, and then you see here how you held this one, you popped here, but then they didn't like that. And today there was a really, really good short here of 40.27. I mentioned it in the chat today. The value area low of today was lined up with the value area high. So can you think about, like, conceptually, like what does that actually mean in terms of price and value?
Price is not accepted outside previous days. So ideally go lower.
If you monitor the price today, if you watched it, right, the value area was higher a little bit. Then they shifted the value down to the PD value area high, and then they tried to crack it, right? So here, you know, they cracked it a little bit, they reclaimed it, and then you're coming back in the RTH, right, in the regular trading hours, and what do they do here? At 1 o'clock, they slice it right here. They trap the shorts.
Yeah.
And then they went higher, obviously, you know, in 30-minute candles. This never went above the value area now after the day, which is important to know because there was no value found above this level. Even if you take this and if you take this and put SVPs here, the other ones, you know, now you will know where we are in terms of the value. You can expect buyers to be here. Where do you expect to dump?
POC.
Well, if you think about this, there's only one value area left here below 39.60, correct? Then you have a POC here, which is 39.50, which matches the POC from March developing, correct?
Yeah.
Below that, you don't really have anything. You're most likely headed to that 309.08 or 9 level. And I would target this area here, probably to the bottom of this one to here. You're probably going to get a bounce. But once we slice through this, I would say there's a pretty high probability finding value all the way to the bottom here. So now I know you were not able to auction higher than this. There was a lot of suppliers, right? We saw it. Your value areas were really tight. If your value areas were really tight and you rejected them before, what are the chances of you landing on a narrow area and staying there? Like, let's say, you know, you jump out of an airplane and you have a, you know, a big net and a tiny net. The odds of you landing on the tiny net
Gonna be very, very narrow.
It's gonna be very narrow, right? So it's the same way when you're, you know, you're slicing through these value areas. Remember, if you did not spend a lot of time and volume in that, there was not a lot of value created. When you spend time and volume, that's value, because that means
Yeah.
you were there. Remember, we talked about last watch list. We said if you're doing this, most likely the TPO is going to be in that area as well. You know, your volume is being shared here. That means you're spending a lot of time. So those letters that you guys saw on TPO, you know, every 30 minutes, you're going to get a column with the number, right? So it's going to be the time is spent plus the volume is there because they're exchanging hands. That's good. But if you're spending a little bit of time and price is really not doing what? Is there a lot of price discovery here?
No, it's really tight.
So the price discovery is nowhere. There's no buyers willing to test 100% on their own a new price discovery. And why would you think nobody wants that?
Indecision.
What happens to the last guy that buys at the auction?
Good.
Well, let me ask you this. Who wants to buy? If my auction for $20 bill was going so hot and somebody raised their hand at $20.50, who's going to outbid him?
Yeah.
No one.
That's right.
What happens to that last guy?
He's
Bag holder.
He's got. He's keep. Yeah. He's
He wins.
Yeah, he opened his Bible somewhere or whatever his prayers are, and then he starts praying that there's an auction coming back higher. Otherwise, that's how it works, right? So this failed here, and there was no buyers willing to do price discovery. Somebody checked here. I mean, this was a pretty good sign. Somebody tried. And they said, no, we're going to go back inside. I mean, it was literally short the tops, buy the bottoms till given otherwise. And I mean, you would have worked probably, you know, you'd have failed here. You would have failed here. But if you're smart, you would have realized that this was usually the first one is a fake pump. And then you saw the rejections, right? So I did short this today, you know, when I was trading with you guys. I did short this quickly. I mean, from 47 all the way down to about 3908.
How long did that take, Shorty?
Oh, dude, it dropped. It dropped fairly quickly. So this was where we rejected. I think this was my level that Dumpster did not believe in. We rejected, of course. I shorted from there, and then I drove it. And there was a reason why the 3908 was there. Hopefully, you guys saw it earlier.
Once it got under 45, like I've never seen so many orders stacked at one level on Bookmap.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. And they were not ghost orders. I mean, it was obvious that they're going to start at that point. You know, do you guys remember when the dealer has to buy more? And if he doesn't find buyers, what does he have to do?
Cover
it.
Drop his price.
No, he has to sell. He has to sell his contracts, guys.
Yeah.
So you know, here, let's say he's like, okay, I'll buy your contracts here. And then he's like, I'll buy your contracts. And then a big seller comes in. Now he's loaded with a lot of contracts. And if the price is going to down, he either has to find a buyer or at some point take a hit. That's why sometimes you'll hear people talk about CTAs are, short under this level. That's their assumption based on how much they have, what's their position, and when will it flip, right? Because if there's no buyers in this level here, right, as they showed, if there was no buyers, then who are they going to sell? Can they sell to somebody in a large quantity if there's no large quantity buyers?
No.
Probably not.
No.
So they realized that, and then you saw the big dump. We also stated, I said, right, if we do break that, the 405 to 4,000 was my no trade zone, right? I did not want to trade in that 5 points. Said if we break, and I think our Acne Man, or I can't even pronounce his nickname, we said if you break 4,000, there was a high chance that, he was on 39.73, that we are going to go there, right? And I guess the stronger power pull than 2022 POC prevailed. But the levels in between that I was watching was 39.86 and 39.86 and 39.83. Correct. But that was a quick dump, guys. I mean, you're talking about, 30 minutes, 47.75. I'm pretty sure some SPX contracts 1,000, 2,000% easy, right?
Jeez.
So what do you guys think for tomorrow? What do you have to take out to go long? Think carefully.
Uh,
39.29.
the February
To go long?
The February value area low.
What level is it?
That's
It was 39.70. That's what I was thinking. I said 29.
Oh, that's 40.62, but then you got 40.56.
I know where you're talking about 40.56, but I'm not. What?
You got 40.56. Then you got the February value area low right on top of it.
Yeah, but where would you go long here? I'm trying to figure out the long level.
Above the PD value area high.
About 4,000.
4,000.
Okay, so that's what you guys are thinking, 4,000. How come you would go along there? And so you would wait 25 points to go along there. Wouldn't that be the ideal short right now?
Oh yeah.
Why would I?
Well, you said it had to take it out first.
Well, okay, so would you go short first, or you would go long first if you break 4,000? Or when you arrive at 4,000, what's your gut feeling? Are we going lower or higher from there?
Personally, lower.
Yeah, because that's your setup for acceptance of the area.
Yeah,
that means you're rejecting outside and you'll be looking to short here. If you break above it and come back, yes, you go long, but right now you're in a shorting. You're here, you come back and you reject this level. That becomes a good short for 80% rule. Even though, this is monthly, that's unfinished, but the idea is there. You do not go long at 4,000. You need to break, come back, then go long. Okay. Any other areas you guys could think here that you could potentially scalp for long? Anyone?
From
39.69 previous week value area high. We are still outside it, so a retest of it likely should be a first long position unless it breaks and goes below.
What about if I break this area right here?
Yeah, that's the one.
Could I not go long here if I wanted to scalp 10 points?
Yeah, easy.
Is there any volume here?
No volume there, yeah.
This can happen quick, right? And you want to be trailing here at all times on this. You do not want to be, walking and getting some sandwiches when you're in this trade. This is going to be a quick one. You might not get 10 points. You probably get 8 points because they want to trap you while you're not watching, and while you're waiting 10, they go 8, and then you get a big nasty candle dump. So I would go long here, but this is not my ideal setup for long. I would not risk 10 points here until you break this retest, like you guys said. Yeah, that's good. And then you have, in this case, you have the VPOC sitting at 433. So you have a good upside, right? If you're able to get in, you can drive that. But look at the value area here. This is a fairly tight spot. I mean, what, 30 points? Not even. Yeah, 30 points in this value area. So unless they do something funny tomorrow where the data is absorbed differently, is there any calendar events tomorrow?
No, they probably have like 18 Fed talkers though.
Wait, hold on a second, Shorty. You said you have a VPOC?
Jobless claims.
It's 8:30 is big. Home
Did you
sales.
say-
Oof.
Sorry.
Yeah, but sorry, I'm trying to figure. So
Did you say you had a VPOC at 4033? Because that's my POC.
Yeah, that's a VPOC.
VPOC.
Okay.
Hey, what's the 2-day look like?
It's probably gonna be volume POC somewhere here. Yep.
Yeah.
This is gonna be massive. If it comes back here, which I doubt, because there's a massive shelf that was also here. They got taken out. These buyers are smoked.
Mm.
So this level here is gonna be crucial as well. For happens to be a
Whoa,
level.
yeah.
A level we are pretty familiar with, 412.50. Do you guys recall that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be pretty big level. And then, on this imbalanced candle, I always tell you guys when it's massive like this, look for this area, right? Like you see this cluster right here, and it happens to be in this cluster. If by some chance they want to push this and drive this here, I will short here first time, and I'll put my stop loss right above this area. But I will definitely short this. It makes sense why? Anyone?
Yes.
No?
The shelf to the left is pretty big.
So look now, if I draw this just from here to the bottom, and I'll include this bottom here. Obviously, as some people call it, there's your FVG here being created. But here's your POC area, and you see how wide this cluster is. So this cluster is about 13 points long here.
Mm.
So they consolidated there heavily with volume, and then they exploded. So if they come back to this, I mean, you have your fibs from the imbalance, right? You would have this, and you have a sell-off accumulation zone. So for me, honestly, this would be, if they drive this up, if they're super sweet, let them drive it up to here, and start entering small positions. And if they make a little bit higher high, I would get that, and I would manage the stop somewhere around 423-ish, like right here. Okay. So that would be the way I'm looking to short this tomorrow. I'm not looking to go long unless they break 4,000 and reclaim it and hold it. Otherwise, this is returning back now. So now I'm just gonna remove all this to show you guys.
Unless they break 4,000 and hold it.
Yeah, I need them to do that in order to trust the move up.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
So do you guys recall how we had the previous volume profile, the FVP? You guys recall that? Did we include this area last time when we did the FVP?
No.
No.
We did
No.
not.
No,
No,
you
yeah.
went from right there, right
We
under.
started after March 6th, I guess,
Yeah, because it was only 3 days, you said.
because you said there was a spike up, and then you want to start
One right
after.
here.
Mhm.
Correct. We
Yeah.
didn't include this one, and we didn't
No.
include this one. We included everything to the right.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Did you guys update this, or you guys did not?
No.
Here's your 68 value area highs, and I want whenever we are doing this, when we pop out of the areas, when we're back, not a bad idea to kind of revisit and re-update it, just so you know what the actual levels are. This should really not change.
Shorty, in this case, would you shift your fixed range volume profile then a little bit more
You
to the
definitely
left, like
can.
the start of it?
I
So
was
that
gonna
way the
cover
highs are
that
like
as
the
a,
same.
yeah, I was gonna cover that as a second point.
Okay.
So watch now, I'll show you this 95. So here's your second. I think it's somewhere around here.
That's 95 even or 95 point something.
You can't type in points.
Okay. And so the 98 is also okay.
For the third sigma, the 99.7, do you put 100 for that, or do you put
I put
90?
99.
Oh, you put 90. Oh, okay, because I put 100. All right.
Well,
so
100 would give you the range tops, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I know where the PDH, PDLs are, right? So, and you guys see what happens here now. This is my POC, right? This is the cumulative POC. So let's talk about the level you guys said you want to go along. Does it make sense that it would be a good confirmation to do that, and why? If you reclaim that, yes, there's potential. You can go and you could target that 40-41, which is second sigma, and you also had an accumulation there, right? So we know 40-38 would be a good area. What did we say just earlier? What level did we say we want to short?
12.
12 was the first one, correct? If you break that one, where was the second level?
4,000.
41 or
Oh,
wherever that peacock
but,
is. 38. What number is it?
It was
38,
entering at
25.
33, and then it was like 36-ish here, I guess. So then you have a little bit of a cluster there. You see the volume, and I would trust this volume that I just drew, right? Because this is a pure accumulation play here. This is where markets were efficient. And I would say that's probably your value area here. If I was to change this guide to 68, I would say, yeah, right on. This is your value area. This is where the most of the volume came in. So it's because it's super tight, right? You know, they can get inside and trade, but I doubt the sellers would allow them to get back inside this value area. It would not make sense if they let them get back inside here. This should not happen. And why should they not allow you to go back inside this value area? Anyone?
From a
Okay,
market profile perspective, you would have recovered the structure by then, and then
so they would have
previously
fixed the poor
established.
structure here, correct? But when you have a massive sell-off like this on the news like this, right? That means somebody, you know, whether it's took it seriously or algorithms, something took it seriously to sell off and cause this. Efficient to inefficient. Market that don't just go, you know, inefficient to efficient and then inefficient. Sometimes the market continues and it continues the trend down, right? So if they're able to get back inside this value area, so you would go from efficient to inefficient to back to the same efficiency. And to me, that would not make logical sense from the perspective of the suppliers here that were there, right? If you're a seller of peanut butter, right? What would you do? How would you handle this? Think about what I'm asking. I'm not asking you a buyer. You're the shop. And you have, let's say you have a lot of inventory still.
I would try to sell it higher, but little by little.
Okay.
Test the waters.
Okay, so that means it would be compression.
Yes.
You said you would do this.
Yes.
Okay.
But
And if you know, let me give you a scenario now. At this point, you know there's another store opening here that sells peanut butter.
mhm.
How would you react to the level where you know you sold a lot of your peanut butter last time here? What would you do with your inventory?
Load up so I can sell more.
You would also have a competitor entering the market
Oh,
right
lower
next
my
door.
price. I would lower my price so I can sell more.
Potentially, yes.
You grab their peanut butter. Person to the left.
Remember the video about the eggs. Other players are in it, right? Which can throw off who's coming in as a buyer or seller. Which time frame are they coming from? If now this was a long-term seller, which potentially was, right? I mean, we've been driving it from 38.50s, right? So he might be selling here, 200 points later. He waited for it to get the excess supply. We reached it and they sold off. Well, now if we drive it back up here and you would make a lower high chance that they will sell off again from here aggressively, especially if this tiny little demand can't take out any of these previous highs.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if they shift and break this value area here, you might want to get out of the way and do not consider shorting this. If they're able to, let's say tomorrow they close about 40.50, close all your shorts.
Gotcha.
Because it will be a fucking run.
So the analogy of selling it little by little, going up, it's okay, it's right.
Well, remember the dealers, if they have an excess supply here on their hands, remember they can either sell, find a new buyer. So if they're able to bid a little bit higher every time and drive the price where they can offload all of their contracts to, let's say, another buyer or whatever, they will accumulate that. They will drive the price to a point, this guy might sell. So they might not drive this price because they'll have competition on selling.
Gotcha.
So there's a chance that they should not break this level.
Gotcha.
Because then it would be really, it would be really shady how they did this here. So now if they're able to break this, I would say, even if they come this cumulative POC here, I mean, things change. What I mean by that, remember, I mentioned this POC, but it was at 39.52. Do you guys recall that? Like last week, it was here.
Remember the level, 39.52.
Yeah.
I need,
So
I need to learn how to get that FBP right, man.
there's no right. It's always right. Let me just show you guys something.
It's the only part that I'm kind of missing on the charting is how to. I know you shown me, but man, I can't retain it. Like where to go from where to where.
We'll cover it briefly.
Okay.
Do you guys recall this?
Yep.
Does everybody recall this here? 39.52.
Yeah.
So that was our last cumulative. Before we went out, we had these levels identified, right? Pretty much all the sigmas at that time. Now, of course, the sigmas and stuff is going to shift because the volume shifted. You notice that the POC shifted. It shifted to 86. So it went up 26 points. And now, where are you relatively to that POC?
Below it.
Yeah, we were below it. So if you're coming back into this area, where's your first short?
Right there at that POC on a retest.
Yeah, this is your first POC, man. This is your rejection, and you can catch this for 20, what is this? No, 34 points from here. And you could literally find a stop right here somewhere, probably, if you're trading overnight. If you're catching, this is your reward, you can figure out where's your.
Which one is that?
So this is 242. So you're looking probably somewhere around here. I'll play something like this. It's not a bad trade. I mean, it's 4-1. I would take this. It's your cumulative POC here. Right below this, you have a really nice skinny belly that drives it all the way to this. Once you clean this 39.52, then I know, from previous levels, previous area, right, that we had the 39, I believe it was 17 level, the 20-ish level, I would say, somewhere around here, that you might have a nice little bounce, and there's a tiny little shelf here. But that's your profit-taking level. It's not necessarily get-out level. Your 39.03, I would say, somewhere around here, because we have the 8 level. I think it was
Yeah,
9.
you said 39.08, right?
So something like this is where I would start, looking a little bit on closing some shorts and see what they do here, right? If we lose 39.03, I would say high probability you're going to visit the second sigma 38.78. And then if you lose that one, you come here. Then if you lose all of these levels, then, we're going to be looking for a whole new value area. You're going to be breaking this demand here. And we talked about the only other demand that would be left would be here. This demand has been exhausted now. Let me show you. This demand here is now done. So this one here bounced right off of here. Actually, this was not like that.
Oh, wow. That big demand is done, huh?
So this one is, if we lose this level here, that means, this is going to be critical. The buyers, if they want to stay in the game, they got to hold this. Otherwise, I mean, they don't have much. And I'll show you now. When I do this cumulative POC, right, on the whole thing, do you guys see how big this POC is right now?
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you guys see where I'm willing to short?
Mm-hmm.
That's an awesome level.
This is a big time level to short. So of course I'll take that short, and then I mean you see now, if you're to lose this level, you're going to be testing probably the lows of this area here. At least it would be smart for them to go there, right? You're here, you were above the extremes, you popped, you spent some time, you rejected, and now you went there. So somebody asked, can you draw, a different value area? Of course, like I said, this is more art than science, right? So if you think about this, if I want to draw this area from here to here, and I can change this style, I can definitely do that. I mean, there's no reason not to do that. So if I want to look at only this area, why not? There you go. And it's pointing, your second sigma of this area will be the first sigma here. So if you start getting some overlaps, that means you have some confluence levels, right? Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So like 95 here would be the next level, which is what, 38.23-ish. And then here you have this level, 41.54, which is also the developing area there. So it matches. And then 99 would be, it's right here, 38.20. So this 38.20 would be the next level below this sigma here. This POC still stays the same. And
so
then
you
have,
always go from the sell-off to the current?
I'm not sure what you're asking me. Sorry, man. You lost me there.
So, in other words, when you're drawing that, when you're drawing the FVP there, to find
I'm just looking at the area that we look like we consolidated in.
Okay.
In this area here, you haven't broken the highs and you haven't broken the lows. You're consolidating in this area. So I'm just grabbing this area to see what does the profile look for it. Because now this is going to be strong because it's a composite profile. Instead of looking for daily of each and reading the picture, I just draw one and I'm able to see a holistic picture of how the volume and I would say the time spent would reflect here.
Okay.
So if I'm looking at this, this is the level now that I'm, and you see here, if I grab more, I don't know who asked, it was a good question. I was going to get to it. So now if I grab more value, that's good. And you see where the value area is being set up. It's right here at 38.80. Well, if I'm going to grab here, it doesn't make sense that I don't grab some of this area here, right? Because it's still in the same area. So now it would just probably consolidate this POC even more. And this value area gets a little tighter because of this here. You see how tight that was. And it comes back to 39.11. Right around the level that I said I would probably look to close some of the shorts. That makes sense? Does that answer somebody's question? I didn't recognize the voice.
Yeah, that answers it.
It was
Oh, yeah.
Island Boy?
Mhm.
Yep. All right. But that's how I would play that. I mean, when I start looking at different profiles, I would definitely do this. Right now, I just know that this level here is huge. You know, this can change the sentiment if you're able to switch. This is a big picture sentiment, guys, because, I mean, think about it. From November 22nd to current, this is the POC where you're at, guys. So if you think about it, that's 4 or 5 months of data, and this is the highest volume area right now where we are at.
That's nuts.
Can't see
Right.
it.
So you don't get a you what?
No, it's nothing. It just I can't see it very good. That's
Well, I'm not zoomed in. Just grab an FVP from November 10th to current.
okay.
So now you'll see this cumulative massive number of POCs showing up here. Okay. I'm just gonna remove them because I have too many. This is good enough for me. So does it make sense? At least how I look at that and people. So whoever was asking, the way I set it up on FVP, I do this, then I change the inputs to value area, right? So let's say I save this one to 95. And let's say I want to save this as a template, I can say 95 VA, right? So I already have one. I'm just going to save it because it has different colors. So now when I go, it's going to be 95 VA, and I can pick from here and it basically shifts this. You guys see how it shifted. So you can do that. And here's your 99 VA as well. Like right now it's here and green line right here. So is everybody clear how to get this on FVP?
Yep. And the other one is 68, right?
Yeah, that's just our standard.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then on SVP, it's a little bit different. You have to load the SVP 3 times and set up 68, 95, and 99. Okay. So I'll definitely watch this short here. If we break this, you know, above here, I'm gonna get some warning signals that we can run to 4,000. So I'll be, you know, quick to watch and see. I probably will not give them this many points on a stop loss, 10 points. It would probably be closer to 93-ish because I know that level was fairly important before. So I'll keep that level in mind and give them, you know, 39, 93, 75 or something like that instead of a couple more points. And it gives me a better, you know, 6-1. So I'll take it.
Still kind of interesting because around that level, the 39.8650, it's the 60 cloud bottom, kind of like the bottom of it.
Is it, are the prices, of course, below? Is it closed?
It's, well, right now, oh, okay. Well, I was looking at the one up top. Or actually, no, oh my god, I'm being so dumb. So the 60 cloud bottom, it's the bottom of the cloud, kind of like the line is kind of like lined up right with the level that we have there. Pretty interesting. At least on MES, I don't. Might be a little different on ES, but.
So 65 bottom is open. And this is our, what is this yellow one? It's 4 hours. Okay. So the clouds, what are the clouds telling you here? Anyone?
Below 3949, you go to 3868, aligned with that 38395 level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a high chance that we're going to be headed here. And then if you lose this level 39.43 here, yeah, you really open up space. In terms of clouds, you really open it up. You would have a daily bottom at 38.60, you lose 38.20, you're going 37.40, and then if you lose 36, you're probably going to head at 35.70. And right now we are kind of imbalanced, so this is going to be key level tomorrow from clouds perspective. It's 39.40. If you lose that, you really accelerate to the bottom of the daily. And if the dailies close like this, you know what to do. It won't be closed. Yeah, they're gonna try to bring this up right now. So remember, they had buyers here. I'm interested to see from this buyer here, you know, obviously in this area, well, in this area right here, if they're able to reclaim it, that's a bullish sign from even this acceleration. Because right now they sold off of under it, so they smoked these buyers. If they're able to reclaim it, that means there are some force bringing it back up, which is also cumulative, you know, 4 or 5 months worth of data. That's going to be a big level for auctioning, potentially higher to the extreme, at least the first sigma here. So you would get 4,000, you break that. Then we know you should probably not get inside of this if you respect this price action. And then extreme is 40.41, and I would look, if it comes to here in this area, I would definitely look to short. And then if you smoke this area here, then I'll be really, you know, looking elsewhere for shorting. I will not short that much.
Shorty, there's a trend line to the bottom as well. It looks like it's making a series of higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah, you're talking about this one. This, I would say, this is a nice channel more so than.
Yeah, it's a channel. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I have. Something like that.
Do you still use what is it? The regression? as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah. I use it, but when it's stagnant like this, it doesn't change much.
Oh, okay.
You can use the tops, I'm pretty sure, if you're to use it. Add it here. So here's your top where you rejected. You peaked last time. You peaked here. You're holding the middle of it. Once, you know, if you're able to slice through this, let's say 39.52, you have a potential for a bounce here in this area. See that, right? So it would be right there in the area to bounce, which would, if I remember correctly, be the 4-hour bottom. See it? The weird yellow.
So happens that's the March POC, 39.52.50.
We should be on the bottom on this one. We are. Let's see on 8 hours. Where are we? So everything's pointing kind of towards this 39.50. I don't see anything that's not pointing towards it. And longer picture, what do you guys think happens? Here's your 3900 test coming here and 3870, which would be second sigma here. So if it was to come down, that becomes a really good zone for buying. Rarely are you going to spend too much time above the regression channel outsides. So just FYI, it's a good check to know, you know, how are we doing from statistical standpoint. Okay. So is anyone confused on ES? Was anyone interested on why we rejected where we did?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Where's my level? Okay. Here's the 4024. Okay. So that's actually a wrong fib that I had. Somehow I had the wrong fib. Let me just change this. I hope I didn't do this. Let me just check myself.
It was around 61.8 when I saw from the high to low.
I had 44 as 50%, so I don't know. I'm confused now. Okay. Okay, then I don't know. My level was here for the 50% was right here. And that's what I was telling Dumpsty today. It looked like that the discount area was in that. Let me make sure I'm not hallucinating. Sometimes these candles look like. No, it's right here. That's correct. 4024. Maybe I saw something else. I had a different level. I had 4043 and a quarter. I'll check my toss. But I had a level there. That was my only reasoning why we did not go 4 more points to 47 yesterday. I really didn't see a reason why they would stop it yesterday, but I guess they were chipping away, and yesterday it showed, you know, the volume profile at the top of the shelf was adding a little bit more explanation for myself. Why not? It was just not very smart. I guess it is now that they trapped a lot more longs. Why they did it, but I guess it adds up in terms of they had a lot of access. They hit it. They sold in a short period of time. Then, of course, they went above it. They tested a few times. They popped. They sold off, and then they lost it again. So now, I mean, it's I would say here below 50%. And if you guys look at the discount area, where is it?
Right at the value area low, where you said they should not go above.
Yeah, it should really not go above this. Which gives you a little bit more confluence at that level, I would say. If you're not comfortable and quick enough, I would not trade this area here in between. That's if you're not comfortable and quick enough. I definitely wouldn't avoid these 14 points. But if you're quick enough and you can execute quickly, might not be a bad push here. Once they hop, give you a little test, they can pop 14 points and reject from here. Right. And if they break that, then we know where they might be headed. Okay. And it's funny that all these fibs, we said not allow. This one lines up with the, the third sigma, and then we have the 68 to line up here also at 4093. Fibs confluence. Any questions on ES? Here, I will be looking to close down some puts and see if we get a bounce. I don't want to hold too much, you know, because we can get these wild pops here.
Oh, that move will probably. Well, I guess this retest that we have coming up, that's definitely going to be overnight, right? The
Say it again.
this epoch retest, that's definitely going to be overnight.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave a trade on overnight.
Okay.
So this will be one play for long for me. This will be a one short, right? And you just respect the levels. And then what's another one? Do you guys think I should go long from here to here?
No.
Yeah, I would not do that. For me, you know, in this case, if I wanted to do something around here, here really gets congested. You don't have a lot of price action here, right? The only thing that you had here was this. Right? And I'm not willing to play this game in here because I can get these nice little candles down. So for me, you know, I can catch these points right here, which would be more probability for me that I can catch it. Here, I just don't see much trade unless you really, really show me you can hold this. I just wouldn't feel confident going long in this area here. I would feel a lot better, you know, taking this long to here than I would here to here. It's just that, you know, here you had a nice balance to imbalance. here you also had balance to imbalance, but this one's been tested now, cleared. It's been, as they call, reconciled. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's all I have for ES. This is the levels I'll play at. Watch this, and of course, if we lose the 39.52, my other short would be to drive this, you know, from here to the bottom.
Is there any chance we could look at MBTH3? It's a Bitcoin future. I'm only thinking of like shorting, considering like what you were saying about Coinbase and a few other people, especially with the CEO selling like that.
Okay, so this would be the plays I'm looking for, guys. I mean, I'll send you guys a link if you guys want to have the same thing. But this is what I'm looking for tomorrow. If I can catch these and drive it all the way to the bottom, I mean, you're thinking about, you know, 34 points here. If they give me this max points I can make tomorrow, 50 plus another, what is this? 43. So about 100 points if I can execute. If they give me all these plays, great. If they give me one, even greater. I'm gonna get one of these and nail it. So whatever comes first.
Shorty, the 2022 POC is like at last week's value area high. If we dip down under the value area high from last week, wouldn't that be like completing the 80% rule for the value area of last week? Or would you just want to wait till the previous POC or previous week POC?
Let me see the week. Well, I have it on another chart. I mean, if you're talking about this one. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, this will speed up your process. Most likely would speed up all the way, I guess, to here, which would match kind of like our targets,
Right.
3,900. So if you're not confident taking a short here, I would say you can wait for an 80% rule, which, you know, you want to be aware of this 39.52 from here to here.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because the POC.
Otherwise, you see that this previous weekly here, our rejection, the POC of the previous week would match to our 39.52 level, and that would be the short that we have. So I would close a little bit earlier than this value area low here.
Right. Just because the POC is so close to the.
Yeah, there's just too much potential for early buyers to come in. Because if they're able to hold this level here and higher, that would be a higher low.
Right. I also noticed that on the 30-minute on the SPP, like if you wait for the previous week POC to break, there's like no volume on like Monday's SPP. So I'm guessing it'll be like a faster way down.
Yep, and you can check that using the. Yeah, so you're kind of talking about this, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. I'll play this tomorrow and see what happens, right? And, you know, they might give us a different look tomorrow. Depends how they open. I would say everything that we see in SVP is pointing to a continuation down, right? And it doesn't mean in the morning they will not give you an auction right out of the gate to give you something to think about higher, right? They are known to do that. So if they're able to do that, you know, from daily SVPs, you can look at this value area, but you also have this value area here sitting at 405, which you guys recall, what did I say about this? This is like my no trading zone. I would not be looking for 4,000, 4,005 as a, you know, like a high probability play for myself here. I would not trust this as much as I would trust these down plays. So I prefer this, and this is my least probable. Make sense? Too much potential that they're gonna cut you short here. This is one of those plays when you get in and you're just moving your trailing stop every second. So you don't get that quick reversal, unfortunately. Yeah. So I would say this is probably the best probability play here. Second last. And some people you can also mark this, like which one is your first, second, third, so you know when you know you don't look at all these, like so you know your probability lineup.
Yeah, I like also drawing the paths usually, like with the arrows, and I'll try to.
Yeah, I mean whatever works for you. I'm just yeah, whatever floats your boat.
Mhm.
There's the 39.93 level. Do you guys recall that one? That was a few days back. It was a big level. Be my stop loss right above it. That would move this just an inch above. There it goes. So that this is a big level here for it. And I doubt that they're gonna give us this. Okay. Should Bitcoin something?
MBTH.
MBTH. Oh wow, I didn't know this existed.
Yeah, it's a CME group. They're futures based. Well, this is the micro contract, so there's no way I could even think about trading either one. I don't have enough. But
Oh god, this is gonna look horrible. Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, the sky's literally open right here below this level. Once we lose this, I mean, shit, I don't know how much pays per tick, but you're talking about 4,000 points here. This little thing here is just a mosquito in the market. Nothing. This is your goal here. Right here, you're going to be in balance, right? You have these mini shelves. Reminds me of that Tesla volume profile we had. You have tiny little areas here, bounce. Once you lose this level, short it to this. I just don't know how much they pay and is it worth it, but there's a nice POC here, obviously at 25,000 here. You lose this level, man, free space.
yeah, it pays. It's pretty good.
Well, here's our Tesla that's gonna be headed right now on its path to 120. And why do I say 120?
Reject and retest. And then going to the EOC from where this run up started.
Did they break POC, break a structure here at all? What does it tell you about this demand?
Not as strong as that supply.
Yep. So there's a high chance that they're going to be testing the low here, 143, fairly soon.
Tesla weekly cloud was closed around 143, so that's what I'll be looking at in case I'm down.
I'm not even going to reference the watch list that we said. There's 2 chances for rejection on it. You guys remember this?
280, you said.
Yep, so we said 280, right? We said they can play some trap games in between here, and then if they're able to clear this one, there's going to be 300. They lose, this 257 level here. Let me make sure that this is 68. Man, they're really going to be headed towards, let's say, 227. And honestly, they have no business being here. They're, 170s, I would say, written all over it within 5-6 months. But Jim Cramer did not agree with me, so he blocked me. Yeah, we're most likely going to see 170s here. And if you look at this volume profile far back, I would say just grab the whole thing. Now you can see where and why we bounced where we did. right? So you came back here, you had a nice little spring, and then you went higher. But even here, I mean, golly, this is just pretty. Here's your volume shelves. So you can expect some kind of bounce to 40s, to 28s, and then I mean it really comes back all the way here, and even like 96 is doable. 196 definitely doable. That's where it bounced.
You check out SPY after that.
It would be identical to ES.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. So here was the, you guys recall this, what we talked about?
Yeah, the low
Does anyone
volume.
remember what we said on these arrows? We said that you had two entries, right? That you had a quicker entry here on long to the next level here, right? And if you break this level nicely, then you have a nice retest, which you got 398. You got a decent retest on smaller time frames. I remember I'm on 60, but then we said, if you're to lose these levels, you're looking for shorting opportunities. You guys recall that, or am I talking Spanish? That doesn't sound confident. So here's the level that we talked about. Once you lose a level of such importance, you're going to get a retest and a potential short. So once you lost that one, 396, 394, you're headed to 390. And then I don't need much. I mean, this profile here is just very awful. And we just filled the whole poor structure on it. And then here, you know, you have the value area, but this is where it held. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be tapping this 390 here fairly soon. And then you have a VPOC here at 386. So if you're to draw a profile or a fixed on this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. What do you see here? That's interesting. Anyone?
You're running right
Skinny
through that
belly.
big node.
Yeah. So what would you expect them to do here?
Try to defend it.
Yeah, they're going to try to defend this level, 392. And then you're coming right above a very, very strong POC here. I would say 7-day POC at 394, 393.5, 43 or whatever area that would be. So somewhere in this area, you're looking to short. And then if they switch over it, your slightly bias changes because you have a nice skinny belly and they can really accelerate here to 395.5. So you catch $2 moves here and I would probably look to close there. And then, you know, of course, if you slice through this, 392, you catch the 390, and then you see each one of these has these little skinny bellies that are there, like this level there. I would most likely close some puts in this shelf here. This is massive here. So I would just play these levels, honestly, here that we have identified from the previous watch list. They're still valid.
Okay.
How's our AMD puts doing? They really tried to run it up. They did. I really don't care what they did. I just know that I will be closing them here. Whatever the hell they want to do now, that's okay. There's a supply here, but what do you guys notice about this? I just want to see who's paying attention. What do you guys notice about this? Call it demand zone here, which caused the prices higher.
Looks like they keep falling out of it to the bottom.
So you had a value area here, and then you dumped. So if I was to draw my cumulative, let's say from here to here, I don't want this data. We broke this area here, and we got rejected a few times, 3 times, 1, 2, 3, even though this one was not there. But if you look, what do you notice about the value areas of the individuals compared to the composite value area? Was there a single one before today, the last profile here, the one that closed above composite value area high?
Mm, oh.
Was there a single one that closed below the value area low of composite?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that one right there, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this one closed right there. So I would say that this, once you clear this right here, once you clear this POC here, you're going to be dumping fairly quickly, right? So it looks like it's a P shape on these couple of days here. And I could potentially even grab this guy here just to make it a little bit more data. And now it gives you a nice picture of what can happen, right? There's a high chance they're going to try to bounce it from here, which would be about 96. Once we lose this 96, right? Same concept that we are under now, cumulative on ES, right? High chance you're going to be accelerating some stuff here. And that's okay, because that's where we're sitting. Holy crap, this went 13.1.
It went inside August value area today for the very first time
Wow.
and got rejected.
Okay, well, they have a little bit of, call it demand here. Wow, okay. I mean, if they're able to break this, they can potentially go all the way to the value area high. Just not the best looking profiles. This area here is pretty massive though. You guys see this? I mean, this is a very, very massive volume here. And they would need to clear this level here for me to get interested in shorting. That's a massive dump here. $10. So you don't remember the level on Apple we set short?
At 161.
Yeah. It was 161, yeah. Man, had a nice little drop. Oh yeah. Good.
Don't show me this chart, please. Don't. Not this one.
Man, they even did the drop and retest again, guys. They did a retest 225 and dumped.
This freaking stock stopped me out like 4 times before it dropped.
Look at this.
Oh my god. Sorry, CK.
Yeah, Cat played me as well. I should have bought more time. I'm just randomly checking tickers here. I feel like all these stocks, like what do you call it? Like AMC and GME or whatever, they're gonna get a lot of attention now. Oh my god, what the hell?
Type of gap is.
Why did it gap up?
Earnings.
They had earnings. Oh wow.
Yeah, they
Wow, okay. Sure. And whatever floats your boat. All these funny names are gonna start. Wow, even this one had a gap up.
I think Pinterest is another one of them. Can't remember. I don't really
Is that
keep
Pent?
up with these.
Oh, that's not.
I think PINS.
Oh my god, what is this? That's a weird looking.
I thought you were about to spell something else.
Oh.
I didn't hear the Pinterest part. I just heard PINS.
Oh, you did?
I'm like, whoa.
This is pretty nasty here. I mean, this is, yeah, this is gonna go down. I mean, look at this chart here. What in the world is this? Which one is Pinterest? This is maybe I'm mixing Snapchat with Pinterest. I don't know which one's which.
I don't even. Yeah, I think they like. I don't even know what Pinterest does, to be honest.
A lot of like women go there and post recipes and stuff, craft
Oh.
ideas. I don't know.
Oof, there goes Wells Fargo.
Oh my god.
Told you guys it's gonna go to 24. It's going 24. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but this has a potential for a dump. Smaller.
Shorty, what about JP Morgan?
My least favorite bank. Rejected there. Oh man, it has a really poor profile here. Watch this. It has a really poor structure here. I mean, call it hope and air, but once you lose this level here, and there's not much really holding you here. So they exhausted this demand here. They already hit this one. See that? So, I mean, if you lose this 125, you can catch, I mean, $10 short. You have this little supply here, but they're going to be going for this one here. There's no really demand here. Yeah, you have $10 move below 125.
Check Bank of America.
BSC. Oh,
BSC.
Oh, there it goes. Well, 24. It's gonna go there. I'll probably look to see how it reacts to this level. This would not be a decent level to look if it's bad. The only thing I'm afraid of buying banks yet, I don't think the bottom is in. Usually when you see the bottoms, what happens?
Panic.
Well, you will see some different structures, right? So let me show you. When you see bottoms, for instance, you usually want to see a consolidation for a little bit longer, right? So let me see. Okay, here's 2008, for instance. So you had a massive dump right here. Then, this is for, from 08 to 2010. It stayed in this range and it did not make lower lows. So you're setting up here, right? So if I go here, and this is the range that you're consolidating in, then you're going to have many pullbacks and many reaccumulations, as they call it, right? But it's going to be a markup, right? So they're going to be marking this as they did here. And then you see a massive, I mean, this is, I don't even know how long it goes for. A massive accumulation here. And what do you see that they did here? It's almost picture perfect, right? They accumulated what they do here. Spring, and then they went higher, right?
Yes,
So they accumulated a lot, right? You can't tell me that in March 2020 they accumulated enough here. Is it gonna be like a level that you might bounce? Yeah, definitely in this area for Caterpillar. This, remember we talked about CK, they're giving you the bull flag look, but it's definitely not a bull flag.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a matter of time. They broke this trend line that everybody's watching, and this is where retail buys. And I don't know, I was fairly clear. I didn't expect them to go to like 270s. I thought 255 was the max. But they ran it, right? They got me out of this one on this level here somewhere. they stopped me out of the puts, but I was aware that they're gonna bring this down and that they won't, and they just kept killing the puts. I mean, every single green candle will take 30% of the puts. And then, of course, you know, the exhaustion was shown, and I was aware, but I didn't want to trade cat. They're done with me. I'll buy the shares again. I mean, if they give us 90, or if they give me somewhere in this accumulation, I'll dig a little bit at 128, add a little bit here, but I'll hold these for a long period of time. So usually you want the bottoms to, you know, accumulate a little bit more than what they did here. Like AMD, you know, you see how long this accumulation was right here. 210 days they had. And then if you look, you know, here before they made a higher high, you know, they didn't make a higher high here. If you guys look, they didn't make a higher high. Some will call ascending triangle. Here they accumulated a little bit, popped a lot, made a higher low. So on daily, they didn't really have an accumulation. They're gonna have to bring it back down, like at these levels, to accumulate a little bit more and match this. And don't be surprised if they drop it and go slightly below, and then that will be some signaling, hey, we want to go higher, we accumulated cheaper. And that's where I get interested as well. I don't have any EMD right now. I sold them all at like 86, I believe, 86.7. I don't have anything right now. I missed a decent run here for $14, but that's okay. I don't mind selling a little bit earlier. Okay. Any other special tickers you guys got?
GitLab, GTLB.
GitLab?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get these stocks, man?
Twitter.
Where the fuck are you pulling these names from? Is this the code repository?
On there.
What'd you say?
Yes, it is.
How do they sell their service? Like, is it subscription based, or is it?
I think it is subscription based. In fact, they sell the software as well. Then you package the software and then you go deal with it.
Huh.
I heard Google was doing something with it.
Yeah,
That's
there's
why
a
I
lot
was
of
interested.
companies doing it. I think the DevOps teams, whoever's into it, right? I think they would use this. I mean, I don't know their earnings and how well they do fundamentally, but yeah, they're still very small. I don't know what's their market cap, but I mean, they had a nice gap down here. Yeah, I would think they're gonna test these lows fairly soon here. 30. I would not be interested in. It sounds like we should do a stock watch list here soon. Another one, I guess, for April.
I got some Zscaler on that 102.
Oh, Zscaler is a good level. This is a. Do you guys remember we said this is the level on Zscaler? I would think that you guys, yeah, this is a really good level here. They even gave us the 100 from this one. They filled this one pretty much. Here's this fill. See it? They gave it to you right on. So think about it. If you grab a 114 and sell at 104, I'm sorry, and sell at 114, that's not a bad return. Right, that's pretty good. But, you know, most people want to hold longer because if you caught this here, that's pretty much 40% jump on Zscaler. But this is not a bad company to hold. Here's this one. Holy moly, they did exactly that. Yeah, this is setting up for a swing short here. Yeah, it has the same look here. This is setting up for a swing short. Somebody should remember this. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will try to join you guys live, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much,
Shorty.
Shorty.
Thanks, Shorty.
All
Have
right,
a
thanks,
good
Shorty.
Bye.
Thank you, Shorty.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rockets. Have a good night, everyone.
No problem. Later, guys.